Saint Matthew. Once upon a time, in a bustling town called Capernaum, there lived a man named Levi. He was a tax collector, which means he collected money from the people on behalf of the government. Many people didn't like tax collectors because they often took more money than they should and kept it for themselves. One sunny day, as Levi was sitting at his tax booth, something incredible happened. A man named Jesus passed by, and to Levi's surprise, Jesus stopped right in front of him and said, "Follow me." It was an invitation to become one of Jesus' disciples, to learn from him and follow his teachings. Levi felt something special in his heart when Jesus spoke to him. He knew that this was no ordinary man. Without hesitation, he got up from his tax booth and decided to follow Jesus. From that moment on, he became one of Jesus' closest friends and disciples. When Levi joined Jesus, he changed his name to Matthew, which means, gift of the Lord. It was a way of showing that he had received a new calling in life, a special gift from God. Matthew was so happy and grateful to be with Jesus that he wanted to celebrate this new chapter in his life. So, he threw a big feast and invited Jesus and all his disciples. Many of Matthew's old friends, including other tax collectors and people considered sinners, also joined the celebration. As time passed, Matthew learned so much from Jesus and witnessed many miracles. He saw how Jesus healed the sick, fed the hungry, and taught people about God's love and kindness. Matthew was so inspired by Jesus that he decided to write down everything he saw and learned from him. He wrote a special book called the Gospel of Matthew, which told the story of Jesus and his teachings. This book is now part of the Bible and is read and cherished by people all over the world. After Jesus rose from the dead and ascended to heaven, Matthew continued spreading the good news of Jesus' love and sacrifice. He traveled to faraway lands like Ethiopia, sharing the message of Jesus with everyone he met. Sadly, some people did not like what Matthew was doing, and one ruler named Fulvian decided to persecute him. They set Matthew on fire, but even in the face of great suffering, Matthew never stopped believing in Jesus. When Matthew's life on earth came to an end, his body was placed in a coffin and thrown into the sea. But a miracle happened. The sea carried his coffin back to the very spot where he had built a church in honor of Jesus. It was a sign that even in death, God was watching over Matthew. Fulvian, the ruler who had persecuted Matthew, saw this amazing event and realized he had made a terrible mistake. He felt deep remorse and regret for what he had done. He decided to change his ways and give up his worldly power. Fulvian went to the bishop Platon, who was a wise and holy man, and asked for forgiveness. In an extraordinary turn of events, Fulvian was forgiven and even became a priest under the new name Matthew. He dedicated his life to following Jesus and spreading his teachings. The story of Saint Matthew teaches us several important lessons. It reminds us that no matter what we have done in the past, we can always choose to change and follow Jesus. Just like Matthew, we can be transformed and become better people when we embrace God's love and guidance. Another lesson is about the power of forgiveness. When Fulvian realized his mistake and sought forgiveness, he was welcomed with open arms. It shows us that no one is beyond redemption, and God's love is always there for us, no matter what. Lastly, St. Matthew's story reminds us of the value of sharing our experiences and teachings with others. Just like Matthew wrote the Gospel to spread Jesus' message, we can share the love and kindness of Jesus with those around us, making the world a better place. And so, the story of St. Matthew continues to inspire people of all ages, encouraging them to live a life of faith, love, and forgiveness. See you again soon. Subscribe, like and share.